Hi, welcome to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. Hey, is it still snowing out there? That's all we hear now in January is a threat of snow. Oh boy, I remember the days when the snow came. You go to Florida, go to California. I don't know about California, all those mudslides and things like that. But anyway, what we want to talk about, voting. You know what happened? We can't talk too much about voting. So what Ed Brown is going to do, he's going to give young people 18 to 25 an opportunity to come on the show and voice their opinion about what they think is wrong with our system, our voting system. Yes, there's something wrong. Anytime you get the most votes and you still lose the election, that tells you something's wrong with your system. But anyway, being serious about this, I've been making attempts to get the young people, not just in this county, in this state, in this country, involved in the political system. Because so many things are happening all over the world, not just here in the United States, as far as a political system is concerned. Most of you know something about it. Some of you are part of it. But what we want to do is get an opportunity to, give the young people an opportunity to really express themselves, without being criticized by the monopoly, the people that decide who's going to run, who's not going to run. Let the young people here in Prince George County, we have a couple problems with the education system, and maybe we can come up with an idea from the youngsters, the types of things that need to be changed in the educational system. Most of us, we feel, we came through a system that, it produced us, so we're doing okay, but I think now it's time for a change. Prince George County has made attempts to change. They've changed the school board. They've tried to go out and get money, but they made a few mistakes in selecting individuals in different positions. The positions were not based on the individual's ability, but who lobbied for the individual. There's so many people that are on the school board or associated with the school system that have no idea of what their position is supposed to be and what they're supposed to be doing. I've had young people to come to me, and I've had them on the show, talked about some of the things that are happening through the educational system and how the political system has got involved in it, and that is making it worse because what they're doing, they're really, they're being not honest about their selection and position. Positions are associated with family, etc., and things like that. And youngsters, they sit around and they talk about these things. They get on the air. Sometimes they get on the air. They get on Ed Brown Show. They talk about things that are happening. They talk about the $6.8 million of a Head Start program that was lost. And the individuals that are in charge of this money, they've been involved in education for, I won't say centuries, but for many years. And they have reputations of being good providers, good leaders. But what happened is that They got into the political system mixed with that. And now the young people feel that they're not being heard on the school board, and that the school board is not doing the things that they have been doing, and they have been doing. The Head Start program is at least 20 years old. But what happens is that apparently it's not money, it's some other things that are happening as far as the system is concerned. That's why I'm making an appeal to young people to come on the Ed Brown Show and voice your opinion. Come on the Ed Brown Show and let the people in this area, not just Prince George's County, but the state of Maryland and the United States, know what is needed and what is being done with the political system. Is being misused through redistricting, where a politician redistricts his own district to his benefit, based on a lot of things, favoritism, dollars. In fact, one of the selling points of the Prince George County County Council and the delegates was the fact that the MGM was going to bring enough money where we had $50 million or more, and anything that system needed monetarily, that would not be a problem. I think Prince George County has more gambling casinos than most states, and the system has not reflected the progress that the money is supposed to bring. But so whoever you are, if you have a friend, tell them, hey, contact Ed Brown at 301-467-5053 and ask to come on the show and voice your opinion. You have an opportunity now. You can't say, well, they won't have me on the show, because I don't agree with them, because this is an opportunity, and I think I'm one of the first hosts that's giving you the opportunity to come on board and voice your opinion about the needs of the educational system in the Washington metropolitan area, not just Prince George County, Washington, D.C., Montgomery County, and Roanoke. It's all over. So that's as far as the first part of the commentary, that's what that is all about. And here's your shot. You have to take it, you know what I mean? And the second half of the show will be, we've been talking about the voting system. And this has a lot to do with, the voting. What is the voting system? Here you have a president of the United States not honoring Martin Luther King with a simple presence at one of his many, 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 many programs. Now, what do you think about that? Do you want a person to represent you like that, or do you want to get the facts out? The facts are, as far as Martin Luther King is concerned, anyone that knows anything about history know that he gave his life for what he believed in. And the President of the United States, he didn't even recognize any program anywhere in this world, not just the United States, on the achievements of Martin Luther King. I had to voice my opinion about that because many, many, many Americans of all color and creed has made this country what it is today. Many of them, all from Europe, Africa, you name it, what continent, they have made contributions to the growth of the greatest nation in the world. And then our system failed us to the point that we didn't realize that, hey, look, the guy we put in it is saying one thing and he's going to do another. Because everything that has been achieved by this country have been achieved by all of us, not just the Europeans, not just the Africans, not just the Asians, not just the Muslims. Everybody has made the contribution to the development of this country, and they have paid the price. When I say paid the price, is how many of you out there have served in the armed forces that didn't want to go? How many of you out there resented the fact that the pro athletes in this country felt that they were in a bad shape because they didn't stand up and salute a flag that represented one thing and did another? And that happened. Anyone that told me that that would not have happened, I said, oh, no, sure. That, we're Americans. We stick together through thick and thin. But that was one thing where one individual was punished, and then it spread. And then America, they thought, hey, look, say, these bad guys, you know what I mean? Say the Constitution and the flag says one thing, but we're doing another. How do we correct it? Nobody's worried about correcting it. Right now, you're facing, what is it, Friday coming up? A possibility of the government closing down, and you won't get that check, Social Security and people like that have worked all our lives to make a country where it's possible for you to make progress in this country. And it hasn't happened. So think about that in 2018 when the voting time comes up. And, one of the things that I always, it's antique, but it's true, is I talk about is homework. I don't care what party you belong to, do your homework on anybody that you vote for. Because if you don't, what happens is that you have to pay the price. So what happens? There's somebody calling already, want to be on the Ed Brown show, want to talk about the future as far as the voting and education in this country is controlled. So what are you going to do? You can't just sit at home, because what happens? When you sit at home, everything happens. Just like what's happening with the cell phone. It's ringing whether I want it to ring or not. But anyway, think in terms of that. The young people in this country voting in 2018 may decide the future of not only you, but also your grandchildren. That's what's going to happen. They're going to be the ones that pay the price. You're going to pay the price indirectly, because what happened? Hey, anybody know anything about Social Security? Hey, pretty soon Social Security is going to be out. What about the health plans? Look at all these things that you're taking advantage of now. The health plans, Social Security, and all those things, as far as the future, they'll be down the drain the way that the government is going. So what you have to do your homework. Old-fashioned homework, not what Aunt Susie, Aunt Martha, and Uncle John tell you about what the good old days. They talk about the good old days, but how many of them want to go back to the good old days when you weren't able to see a doctor, the good old days when you couldn't afford basic things in life. You know, we take all of those things for granted, but the way that things are going now is slipping away because you, I mean you're not doing your homework when you go to the polls. You go to the polls to secure the future of your family, of your grandchildren, your children. Those are the things that you have to think in terms of. No one nation, no one group developed the United States of America. Everybody knows and how propaganda goes around that, hey, the rumor is that, what is it, that George Washington was the founder. Who was the founder? You know, the American Indians, they were just part of the system. They were an important part of the system. The fact that the natural resources for many of the nations was taken by other nations and made those nations fearful of other nations. That's why you had what do you have? World War I, World War II. Well, now they're numbering the wars. You know, World War II, World War I. They're giving them a name like Viet Cong, Vietnam, and the Asians and the Africans and that type of thing. They've gone to that instead of using the phrase of World War I or World War II. When will World War III come? Anybody out there know? Think about it. If you sit at home and go to the polls and let what's happening to the democracy as far as the United States is concerned, as far as the world is concerned. There was one, I was reading in the paper, where the mayor in one of the southern states there won the election, and they locked, they wouldn't give him the key to the mayor's office. Find out about that. He won the election, and the outgoing administration did not give him the key to the mayor's office. Can you imagine that this day and time, something like that happening? But it happened last week. And like I say, do your homework. You'll find out a lot of things that not in the paper, that's not on television. You know what I mean? But what you have to do, you have to dig for it. And the only way you can do it is 2018 is coming up. The mistakes, everybody make mistakes. I make them, everybody. Mistakes that you and I have made as far as putting certain people in office, we got to correct it. The only way you can correct it is you put people in that believe in all of us, every last one of us, regardless of their race, gender, color, has made this a great nation. And one day, somebody will really, really understand that because they will see, hey, look, Uncle John was Irish. Uncle Mac was Jewish, African, so many. It has nothing to do. Individuals should be evaluated based on that individual, not on the color or race or money. You know, a lot of a lot of us think that money makes you right. You know, well, the way our system is set, money talks, and unfortunately, that's one of the things that's a, a bad item to hold against the person because they're poor. Because they're poor, that means they have nothing to add to your society. I speak of one of the greatest scientist, George Washington Carver, uh, in the world. You know, he was famous for the peanut. That's what they gave him credit for. But you go to Tuskegee, Alabama, and you see a museum there that illustrate the many, many, many contributions that George Washington Carver made. Artificial limbs. Most people, especially those from World War II, that lost limbs in the service, artificial limbs. I bet you did not know that the leader as far as artificial limbs was George Washington Carver from Tuskegee, Alabama. That's what I'm talking about, doing your homework. That's why we want to make sure in 2018 that you do the right thing. You treat people like you want to be treated. Hey, that sounds simple, but it's difficult for some groups to accept that. The fact that everyone is equal religiously or before God or whatever you worship. And those are things we got to think in terms of. We got to think in terms of the future. The future. What is the future? Your grandchildren. They are the future. What are you doing to make sure that they have the proper education, the great opportunity to develop their skills like anyone else, not based on their color or their language? So that's what 2018 is about. It's about you going out, getting involved. Go to the civic meeting. You go and watch the NFL and the NBA and all of that. You spend money, $20 and $30 for the set hot dog or something like that, but you won't go to a civic meeting. You won't go and find out why they're putting the garbage dump in your neighborhood instead of putting it in a neighborhood next to yours, you know. You don't stop and look at what effect it will have. You don't stop and look about, what about jobs for my granddaughter or my grandson? See, what kind of future do they have? Hey, those are things that maybe we think about it, but we don't do anything about it. And the only thing you can complain all you want. If you don't go to the polls, then hey, you are a poor, non, what did it say? Non-participating citizen taking advantage of work someone else is doing or has done. So think about it. 2018, get your you know what out and participate in your community. Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, church, whatever it is, get involved in your community because, hey, that is the future, whether you like it or not. And you can sit back and complain, and what's going to happen? Nothing is going to change. You have to do it yourself. Nobody is going to give you something that they want. So anything that you want, you have to sacrifice. And sacrifice is time. And most of us, if it's something we like, we have the time. If it's something we don't like, we don't have the time. But so think about it. All the young people out there, give me a call. We're going to have 2018. We're going to have representation from the youngsters on education and where we are going in the future. What is the future of this country? What is the future of our grandchildren? What is the future of the United States of America, which is made up of all people, all colors? Remember that. This has been Ed Brown, and I'm telling you, I'm ready to roll 2018. So you want to get involved? Give me a call, 301-467-5053. I'll see you next time.
Whoa! Gear up, guys.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Puedes encontrar aventuras en cualquier parte, pero el mejor lugar para iniciar la búsqueda está en el bosque.
I spied something beginning with S.
Snow.
No.
Snow-covered trees.
Nothing to do with snow.
Sal a descubrir animales increíbles. Hermosas plantas y árboles que se unen para crear una aventura inolvidable.
Wow.
Así que ven con tus seres queridos
Don't even.
a explorar un mundo de posibilidades.
Come on, this way.
Visita descubreelbosque.org para encontrar el bosque o parque más cercano.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Go! Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet. Oh, green hat, red hat, oops. Red shirt, blue shirt, yellow shirt, oops. Yellow pants, red pants, green pants, oops.